Friday, it's 5 p.m, and as per the last couple of weeks, I've been out on a Thursday again, Bradley, and feeling mid to complete regret.
Saucy.
I think I'm verging on utter regret.
I was out on Wednesday, and I don't regret it at all, but I did feel a little bit dodgy Thursday morning. But yeah,
we're not built for this.
Well, we're sort of getting towards middle age, aren't we, at this point, I guess? And you've got a small child. My cat's been sick all week. That's not a joke or a euphemism or anything. So I've been looking after my cat, Jeffy.
That started during the podcast last week, right? Because you said your cat came in and vomited mid-podcast.
No, that wasn't my cat. That was a rogue cat. That was a neighbourhood cat.
What?
Yeah. That used to be a stray. We tried to adopt him, and my two cats hated him. Unfortunately, he's a lovely cat. So we took him to Celia Hammond Animal Charity. They neutered him because he was a boy, and then we brought him back, and my neighbour has taken him on. But he still sometimes thinks he lives here, so he comes in and just eats food and stuff and scares my cats. So that was a random
on your floor
cat.
midstream as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get a cat, everybody. They sound
dramas,
great.
Man. Yeah, cat dramas this week, I tell you.
Well, let's get some beers in the glass, and then we'll talk about where we've both been, because I think they're both beer related.
They are both beer related, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be drinking this lovely thing from Utopian. This is their Doppelbock, which has been lagering away. Wait, when was this canned? Oh.
Lagering away for a long time by the sounds of it.
I thought this was from the last batch. It's from the batch before. That is a reach into my stash, that one.
Oh, wow.
Let everybody know what you're drinking, and then I'll tell you why I've picked this beer.
Yeah, okay. So I'm drinking Pineapple Goes from our friends at Ansbach and Hobday. Don't know why I'm struggling to find the camera. And this has been brewed in collaboration with Malden Sea Salt. So it's the Pineapple Glows delivers aromas of freshly sliced, fleshy pineapple, not only by the addition of pineapple juice, but also by the use of intensely fruity Brew One hop. We like a bit of Brew One. A delicate acidity keeps the beer bright and fresh, while a pinch of Malden's unique sea salt flakes on the finish enhances the sweetness. That is interesting, isn't it? How salt does enhance kind of other flavors and sweetness, certainly. Adding
Indeed,
balance and drinkability. Yeah. Exactly. A tropical reimagining of a historic German style.
All right. I'm sure you'd have said all that without the prompting of the can. I'm sure it's just going to sing.
Maybe.
Sing
10 a.m.,
notes.
Johnny. We've got two.
Don't let the cat out the bag, literal and metaphorical, in the first 5 minutes.
I'm scared about it. 2 live streams today. This is many hours of live streaming.
This is just live for content.
Exactly. We are content creators today, aren't we?
Can I just say that this smells absolutely incredible still?
I'm sure it does.
It takes me straight back to the cellars of the Czech Republic, which is a place we'd really love to go again soon and maybe have some plans to do. But the reason I'm drinking the Utopian, which is not as fresh as I was hoping, is because I've basically spent all of this week finalising and chasing all the breweries that we asked to brew collaboration beers for Love and Beer Festival on the 17th of October. Tickets still available, £25, and you get a free glass, free tote, free pour, and lots of bottle shares and deliciousness, and you hang out with us. And most of the people are now tied in. We're starting, the news of what's going to be brewed is trickling in as well. If you're a West Coast beer lover, you're going to be well catered for. And I don't know whether that's because that's the way tastes are going, or whether because people know our tastes, or not quite sure. But there's lots of lovely, clear IPAs headed for you folks, as well as inevitably some hazies and some other bits. But we are again going to be brewing, 2 new collabs for this festival. One of them is actually a project that we're working on with Planet Beer TV. So our friends over in the Midlands making great content in the UK on YouTube. We're working on a collaboration video series with them, and the denouement, the climax, is going to be happening at Love and Beer Festival. So we're brewing a beer for that with Drop Project down in Mitcham. And the other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be brewing a homage to, I would say, one of the most seminal moments in Craft Beer Channel's history with the one and only Utopian.
Very
So
excited
the
about
beer
this.
that we're going to be brewing is a 12 Plato Czech lager inspired by Kauts Nasumave. Sadly now, I think defunct, although there's always rumours it's coming back.
It's hard to tell with that building, right? It's bombed out anyway.
You wouldn't know from the outside, whether it was brewing or not. But yeah, if you haven't seen that video, we go there with Evan Rail, and there's also Michael Kaiser, who founded Good Beer Hunting. There's Mark Dredge. There's not Chris Hall. Was Matt Curtis there? God, I can't even remember who else was there now.
No, wasn't it Tim, the guy that
Tim
does
Anderson
the Japanese
was there.
restaurants? Yeah.
And Jeff Allworth, actually, as well, Beervana. So yeah, it was a trip we took in like 2014, 2015, and that beer still remains one of the greatest beers I've ever drunk. Obviously, with all the context which you can see in the video, I'll put the link in the pod description. But we're going to be brewing a homage to that, and it's quite an unusual recipe. As Jeremy and I have been sort of digging into what goes into it. It's a 2-hour boil with hop additions throughout, which gets it to over 30 IBU, which is no mean feat with SARS. It's got a touch of caramel malt in, which seems like heresy, really, when it comes to Czech brewing. You know, you do decoction to get that character. But I do remember that beer having a really kind of deep orange glow to it, which might be the fact that it was triple decocted and then had some more caramel in.
Was the glow when you couldn't have seen that in the stoneware flagons we were drinking out of in there? So was that in the 1.5 litre plastic bottle that we took it away?
That we brought home. Yeah. Yeah, probably oxidation, thinking about it. No, I mean, we also, we went back to, did we go back to Pilsen? Yeah, we went back to Pilsen with Mark Dredge
we have
like
drunk
2
it
years
again.
later, and we drank it again in glassware rather than stoneware. And I remember thinking that as well. It's got a really rich dark colour. A little bit like Pilsner Urquell actually has that colour as well. And I think possibly Pilsner Urquell has a touch of Cara or Munich in there. I seem to remember somebody related, got to be careful here, somebody related to the brewery saying that the recipe for Pilsner Urquell is not 100% like pale lager malt.
Secrets.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be brewing that in the middle of September, which means we're going to be down in Devon, where I went to university. I can't wait to show you the complete lack of delight that is Exeter. No, that's unfair. It's a beautiful little city. It's just not a lot going on. Although
not until we
get there. Not till we get there.
We're going to show these people how to party like you're 42, 45.
I keep asking my friends like about the pubs we used to visit that are still down there, and they're always like, no, that's closed. That one burned down. That one's closed.
Burned down. Wow.
Yeah, one of them burned. They had a big fire right by the cathedral a couple of years after I left, and that took out my favourite pub, which was this beautiful, bit like Southampton Arms, like glass-fronted sort of cask ale kind of place that was just great. So yeah, we're going to be brewing that, and that's why I'm drinking Bock at it's 10:15 now on a Friday morning. So yeah, how's your pineapple go, sir?
Sliding into the weekend. Yeah, it's
I'd say slipping.
It's pretty pineapple-y. Yeah, it's pretty pineapple-y. It's almost like I'm at a continental buffet, Johnny.
Okay.
I've gone in a bit too hard with the fruit salad.
Which is very unlike you.
It's very unlike me. You're more of a porridge. I like porridge, but you're more of a yogurt man who tops it with like seeds and
fruits and things. Yeah, which I never do at home, because if I did that at home, it would just go off in the fridge.
I feel like you're just shaming me when we go away and you do that. I'm like, fuck. I'm hanging. I just need some bacon and some eggs. That's what I need when
I eat eggs too.
Bacon and eggs in the morning. For sure.
I may be shaming you, but I'm not going to do it to the detriment of the rest of my day. You got to go to work on an egg, Brad.
Yeah. You need some eggs.
When you're drinking for a living.
The last time I remember this happening specifically with the fruit on top of the yogurt, we were sat next to Radim, and he was just eating buns, that he was buttering the top of the bun rather than cutting it in half and opening it. So he's just eating it. And
Do you
I
think
asked
that's a
him
Czech
about it.
thing, or do you think
Yeah,
it's
he
just
said it was a Czech thing, which
it's not a laziness thing?
I'm still really unsure about. That is such a rogue behaviour. So when I say buns, I'm talking about like a little bread roll, like
Yeah.
you might get if you're at a fancy restaurant. Would you like some bread? The waiter will give you a little roll. It was like that, but he just butter the hard top of it and then straight in, which I found pretty interesting.
That because the butter's not gonna, the reason you do it on the bready bit is because yeah, exactly. You want it to maybe soak in, or you just want the amount of friction there to take the butter off your knife. If you've got a slightly hard baked top on a bun,
and you're just lubing up the hard exterior of the bun a bit, aren't you? Not that your teeth are gonna slide off of it, but I would have thought that like teeth on butter and then a hard bun is not. It's not that appealing, is it? As a pillowy soft bread and then the butter on the inside, crunch on the outside. That's way better, surely.
I disagree with the Czechs on very few things, but buttering the top of your buns is one of them. And beer cheese, I disagree with. Everything else,
beer cheese.
The Czechs have got it. They've got it all figured out. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right. Anyway, I mean, there was some beer chat.
My beer's very nice. My beer is good. I'm enjoying it for as much as I could. A beer at 20:10 in the morning.
Yeah, it's not always this early, folks. It's
no.
I mean, it is sometimes, but it's not always. I mean, I literally before this podcast started, moved my cup of tea out the way.
He's got a tea. So
to replace it with a beer.
You were out last night, Johnny. What was going on?
Yeah, so my oldest friends, we try to meet up like 2-3 times a year, and we go for steak and wine, and before that we go for beer. Okay. But this time we mix it up. So before that, we went to the Sandbox VR in Tottenham Court Road, near Tottenham Court Road, and we played essentially Resident Evil VR, and it was pretty amazing.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds geeky, but that does sound quite good.
Yeah, it was properly amazing. Like there was.
Are you on like a treadmill? Is it like moving around?
No, you're in like a box that's maybe like, I don't know, twice the size of the Brudio, and there were four of us
with your friend. Although you were there in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're all adventuring and marauding. We're trying to rescue a scientist who's got the cure for the zombie virus. And there's helicopters crashing, around? And you get on a car at one point. Wow. Yeah, you can move around a bit, not a huge amount. They sort of find ways to maneuver you. So okay. We ran into each other constantly. But you like at one point you get into a car, and then we're in a truck, and we were shooting out the back of it and stuff.
Sick.
So it was pretty amazing, and I had a shotgun. 46% accuracy. I was a bit disappointed with.
I mean, you can hit anything with a shotgun.
Yeah, I think I was trying to shoot stuff too far away quite a lot of the time, because you just go into panic mode. Like we were all talking a big game beforehand. Like we needed a technique, we need a tactic, and then as soon as the zombies started coming, it's all hell breaks loose. Yeah. There was one bit where like they had these ones that would jump onto your back, and you couldn't quite feel it, but your back starts vibrating basically. And then if you look to the side, there's literally like a monster like looking at you, and then you have to get your shotgun and be like.
I'm just trying to picture you. It sounds like you're wearing like a Laser Quest outfit with
pretty
much as well.
Yeah,
you had like a pack thing that's vibrating,
a big pack on you, like a bulletproof vest kind of vibe, and then you've got things on your ankles. Those aren't your ankles. What are your ankles? They're on your feet, near your feet. Jesus,
on your
okay,
ankles?
maybe I am hungover. And then on your arms, and then you've got the VR headset and headphones.
Wow, okay.
And it is pretty immersive. Yeah, particularly on the truck.
Photo evidence for this?
Oh, there's that I did it. You get a highlights reel that's been sent to my email.
Why aren't you playing this, Johnny? This is what the people want.
My friends. I was about to say they're private people. No, two of them are comedians. One of them's private.
I was going to say,
so I won't...
they're public figures, aren't they?
one of them wouldn't want to be shown on such a thing. But also, so in the morning, I was having some headshots done, because what is my life? And I was at the Old Mitre, which is always a pleasure. And I ate a lot of pork pie while somebody took a photo. I ate some scampi fries. My headshot's going to have me eating scampi fries, which I think it's a
Nice.
defense mechanism so people never take me seriously. And then I ended up at the Stranded after we'd shot the zombies as well. So I had a very beery day.
Sounds it.
And the Stranded, lots of people have been messaging me about it, saying, like, have you been there? What's it like? And the beer is second to none. It's amazing. In fact, last time I went, I think I put a photo on Instagram and stuff that everyone was drooling over. But it is a slightly strange vibe. It was the only place in Covent Garden / Soho that wasn't rammed, which is a real shame. And I don't know how long they'll keep doing what they're doing, which is essentially they're pouring proper like Cadlinkas, like half beer, half head, and they're charging you 2/3, and it's a £5, which is pretty reasonable.
Right. Yeah. That sounds good.
But they're having to explain it every time. Like, there's fear in the server's eyes as they sort of go, you order a Budvar, and then they're like, just so you know, there will be a lot of head on this. We will charge you 2/3 for it. We're not charging you a pint. It's just a bit of a shame that they have to do that.
Explain in that way.
Yeah, exactly. But they're sticking by it for now, and the beer's tasting amazing. The Budvar is bang fresh and beautifully poured, so long may it continue. I'll keep supporting it. They just need to do a little bit more with the decor to make it feel a little bit nice. I mean, it feels a bit like Lokal, actually, in Prague. But it's not as vibey because it's not as full, and maybe one day it will be. What were you doing on Wednesday, Bradley? The photos look like fun.
Yeah.
Should I dig some out?
Yeah, dig them out. So me and my friend, one of my old friends from art school there, Ollie, we're feeding each other pork pies, as you can see. I haven't seen him in about a year. He was in advertising. He's a big advertising guy.
Brad, if you just lower your shoulders like 6 inches, I'll have almost placed you directly onto you.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. There you go. There you go. So it's like a real life meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were in. We went to my favourite, the Dog and Bell in Deptford. It was traditional Irish folk music that night. On every Wednesday it is, if anyone wants to come check it out. And I think they turned up a little bit late, and I'm not quite sure. It wasn't quite as like big as it normally is. The music, that is. We were just in
some
there.
holidays.
Yeah, we were in there drinking. I had a couple of pints of Guinness, mostly Guinness actually, as you can see there. Which you might note as well, there is no branding on that glassware. So there's none of that annoying splitting the G behavior going on, which is definitely something they've considered, and they don't have Guinness branded glasses.
I reckon also theft of Guinness glasses must be through the roof right now.
Through the roof. Yeah. But that, I think that pork pie is possibly the best pork pie in London. It's from well-beloved Butchers, which it closed, sadly, about, I don't know, 8 years ago or something. It was it was just off Deptford High Street on Tanner Hill in a 16th century cottage.
Wow.
Which you wouldn't believe was around there. And the guy, I can't remember his name, but Mr. Well-Beloved.
I hope that's his surname.
Oh, yeah. It was the family butcher's. Been there for 300 years. It was there for 300 years, I believe. And I used to buy pies off of him every other week. 3 pies, I think, for a £5, which was mental when I lived around there. And they were great. It was steak and onion pie, beef and, like mince and whatever. All chicken pies he did. I'm not a chicken guy, but yeah, all kinds of pies. And the only thing he does now that I'm aware of is pork pies for several pubs, and Dog and Bell being one of them. But yeah, it was super nice to just see an old friend. Haven't seen him in about a year. He is now a filmmaker, so he directs a lot of stuff, makes lots of films.
What kind of films?
Independent films, adverts.
She's doing fictional stuff as well as.
Yeah. He writes as well. We used to be co-directors together. We used to make music videos together while we were at art school. So we did a few rubbish videos for various people. One of them, Ali Love, they didn't use it in the end, which was a bit annoying. But we did this. It was called Smoke and Mirrors on the Dance Floor, and we built a glass two-way mirror pyramid, not pyramid, like a prism, sorry, and then Ali with a raised floor that had loads of holes in it that we were shooting smoke and sort of smoke up through, and we had
dried
lights
ice.
coming. Yeah, dried ice. We had lights coming in from places, and we basically made a disco prism triangle that he was inside dancing around, and then we had some like beautiful ladies that were dancing around as well. And then the prism was like a spaceship that was flying through space. It was disco. It was very sexy. It was cool. And I think they decided not to use it, but it was amazing. We sourced the original cameras they used to use on Top of the Pops in the 1960s and 70s, which they use a different kind of technology to capture light into them, which I can't remember what it was called. It has some sort of rods. And, you know, if you watch really old Top of the Pops, when the camera moves like this on a light source, it like trails behind it, the light source. So that, I don't know if you've ever noticed that. It's like the light is like snaking around. You can only get it with these old cameras. We managed to rent one of them, and we like had it on a big like dolly. It was like amazing. We were like 20 years old and had Panavision equipment and stuff. Like Ollie was great at blagging. He blagged us loads of stuff. So it was fun. We had some good times. We were just talking about all that sort of stuff, really. Eating pork pies. You know,
we're not gonna get Top of the Pops cameras in our next shoot.
Well, I looked at buying one a few years ago
because of all the lights we use. Yeah.
They're about the size of, how big would it be? A Labrador, I would say. The camera's about the size of a Labrador, so like quite a medium to large dog. And you know, it's massive. The camera is absolutely massive. And it has loads of weird connectors that are not practical at all to try and record off of today. But saying that, Johnny, I will be bringing more 90s handycams and digicams to Love and Beer 3 that I'm going to hopefully give out to people to video some stuff for us. Because in the last year, I've amassed more of a collection of old school digital video cameras.
It kind of made my eyes bleed a little bit editing the footage you put together on like the was it late 90s Sony camera?
Yeah, I think it was early 2000s because it's a hard disk recorder, which is actually pretty cool. It's got a spinning hard drive in that camera.
In the camera,
which is wild. And then it looks terrible, the footage, but kind of great as well. But like
it was awful. It had a vibe. It had a vibe.
Yeah, vibes cam.
Yeah, I should say. I mean, I was also at the Beer Merchants Tap yesterday as well for a meeting about the festival itself and trying to get everything planned and mapped out. And we do have some really cool extra sponsors and stuff coming in as well. So there's going to be plenty of content to be captured. Should that be your thing? I know last year there were some Game Boy cameras going around and all kinds of stuff. So we love to see that, and we need to facilitate getting that footage out there better by, I don't know, having a Dropbox people can drop it into or a hashtag or something. Nice. So we'll have a little think about that. Anyway, some quick bits of news before we get to the rich vein of weird Australian Instagram content that Brad has for you later. The first one I wanted to talk about is, are you a fan of Megadeth, Bradley?
I've got a Def Leppard t-shirt on right now. I like Megadeth. They're pretty cool. They're nothing like Def Leppard. I wasn't comparing them.
I was a bit confused by the comparison.
It sort of sounds similar. Like Megadeth, Def Leppard. It's got Def in it. Def.
Well, one's deaf and one's deaf.
I know, but you know, that's how my brain works, Johnny.
Okay, sure.
It's got a good face on it, this one.
So they followed in again a rich vein of metal and hard rock bands doing beers. Trooper, which is brewed by Robinsons and is obviously Iron Maiden, is one of the most successful brands now. Like cask ale, real ale, premium bottled bitters, whatever you want to call it. One of the most popular brands in the UK at this point, which is
Trooper.
Insane. Yeah, Trooper. Because it's not even a particularly good beer, in my opinion. But that crossover clearly works. Deftones had with Belching Beaver, I don't know whether they're still doing it, but they had a full range of different IPAs, many of which made it to the UK and were great beers, because Belching Beaver are a really good brewery, and I'm a massive Deftones fan, so I used to buy it every time I'd see it. Megadeth, not a band I've ever got into, but they've clearly tried to cash in on this little trend. They've released a Pilsner, an IPA, and a low alcohol IPA in advance of their apparently final studio album.
Blimey.
Which I didn't know they were calling it quits. But they've brewed it, Bradley. They've brewed it with Black Sheep, which, as we know, is owned by Breel, which is the formerly known as Keystone. It's essentially a venture capital firm that's been buying up every brewery that's gone under. So they bought Purity, Brick, Brew by Numbers, and Black Sheep, obviously. They were hovering around North. In fact, did they end up buying North in the end?
Don't remember.
I think because Kirksall bought them, and then I think they couldn't make it work, and I don't know if it landed in the hands of Breel or not. And then the beer is available via Amazon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then just underneath that, it says that the beers embody the spirit of individuality, just like Megadeth. And you're like, I don't think a venture capitalist-backed brewery selling into Amazon is displaying any individuality whatsoever.
Honestly, Johnny, you're such a cynic. This is true heavy metal vibes, surely. What are you on about? How come? What do you mean? What's wrong with a bit of venture capitalism and giant conglomerate companies that are ruining small high streets and small businesses? I'm literally waiting for an Amazon delivery right now, by the way.
God damn it, Bradley.
You know, what are you gonna do?
I bought two. Actually, no, this was an Amazon purchase. So I finally got round to buying up Martin Cornell's back catalogue now that he's no longer with us. Look at it, like every time I chatted to Martin, and it was quite frequent, we chatted a lot, mostly because I needed to know knowledge from him. He talked about his Porter and Stout book for years and years and years, right? And I started to think it was a bit like George R.R. Martin's was it Winds of Winter is the next one that's never
going to get it out,
never going to happen. And he actually, tragically, Martin died 3 days before the book was released. But look at this fucking thing.
Wow, that is a tome, isn't it? Wow,
it is. And
wow. Oh my god!
I got back
There's
last
tiny
night.
text as well.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Oh my god!
This is what you're faced with.
2 columns per page. Jesus.
Like if that's 10 point, I'd be surprised.
Any photos in there at all, or is that just a manuscript?
There are some beautiful illustrations and photos and brands.
Right.
But I mean, we're talking. I think this is going to take me years to read. Let alone it took him, I think, maybe 5 or 6 years to write.
Wow.
But our Porter and Stout content is going to be bang on. It's going to be accurate from this point on. Not that it wasn't before, because I asked Martin, literally before we did anything about the history of Porter or Stout, I would email Martin going, I'm thinking about saying this. And he would either lay into it or go, Oop.
Yeah.
So I did. I also had an Amazon package arrive yesterday, to my shame.
Shout out Martin. How much was that giant wedge of a book?
This was £55.
Bloody hell. Did you buy that, or have I bought that on the channel?
I bought that.
Wow,
that's
love.
For me.
That's
this is the start. I mean, respect to Martin, but also it's for research for book 5. So this is a me expense.
Come on, show it again. Let's see the cover and tell everyone on the audio podcast what it's called, because it does need some respect. This is a giant.
So it's called
work.
Porter and Stout:
Wow.
A Complete History.
Bloody hell! I can't get over the size of it.
$53.99 is the.
It's not even a hardback.
Price.
Not even a hardback.
I mean, if this was a hardback, you wouldn't be able to lift it. It's like Encyclopedia Britannica.
It looks like an old school telephone book that you used to get like the strongmen like ripping in half.
Feels like it as well. It feels like it. Yeah, I want to get Hulk Hogan to come rip. Oh no, wait, he's gone as well.
Oh, hang on, they're all dead.
Yeah.
No.
So yes. Anyway, shout out to Martin. He's much missed, but he will live on in my life for several years while I finish this book.
Wow, amazing.
So yeah, Megadeth. I would say Megadeth fucked it.
Well, what's happened there is Be Real, Brill, whatever they're called, have gone to them and gone, all right, guys, we're massive heavy metal fans. We love speed metal and whatever else. Just had a bit of a thought here. We're going to make a range of beers with your logo on. You like beer, right? Oh, yeah, we like beer. We'll make a range of beers and we'll give you 10%, 5%, whatever, as a royalty. We're going to shift however many thousands of them. We're partnered with Amazon. They can go Amazon Fresh. There's going to be all the metal fans out there who are going to lap it up. What do you reckon? And they've gone, what's the worst that could happen? Give it a go.
Yeah. The worst that could happen is they get mildly criticised on the Friday 5 p.m.
Exactly. Which to your Megadeth crew, probably
nothing.
Not. Probably nothing.
Probably
right?
won't register, even if they did see it somehow.
Exactly. Water off a battle jacket. Can I show? Actually, I'll just go and get something, Johnny. Keep talking.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh God. Yeah, I've got nothing. I'm now in my head going, well, I'll just edit this bit out, and then it'll be fine, and it'll be like nothing ever happened.
I bought this at a boot sale.
Oh,
which is amazing.
Pre-patched. Was that a Pantera badge? Metallica?
Yeah. So Metallica. I'm just wondering whether Megadeth is on there. It also doesn't fit me, Johnny. But I bought it because I was like, it's beautiful. It's absolutely
beautiful. Beavis and Butt-Head down at the bottom as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Beavis and Butt-Head in cutout form.
Do you know, Bradley, I don't know, wait, yeah. Bradley, I've got a great story for the listeners at home. Yeah.
Go on.
We got approached by the makers of Beavis and Butt-Head like a year ago, maybe a little bit longer.
Huh?
Yeah. I never told you about this because it never came to anything, but basically was there a new Beavis and Butt-Head film or something coming out in the last couple of years? That they were looking to promote something with Beavis and Butt-Head, and what they wanted to do was they wanted to make some sort of viral things where Beavis and Butt-Head would be watching YouTube.
Oh no!
And
like the MTV
do reaction
show.
videos. Yeah,
that's literally Beavis and Butt-Head show.
Yeah, so they found one of our videos and said, "Can Beavis and Butt-Head react to this? Can we have the rights to the content and everything?" And I went back to them and said, "Yeah, sure. Like, well, you know what." Take whatever you want. I'll send you the high-res files. And then, nothing ever happened.
Holy shit. That would have been a career highlight for me, I think. I loved a bit of Beavis and Butt-Head.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have been ripped apart, I'd imagine, but it would have been glorious. And yeah, so I presume they probably contacted loads of people and had a short list, and we were just too far down the short list. They had better options.
Yeah, funnier
options, yeah.
Cooler, younger, more musical.
Stop listing our flaws. Let's dig into what you found on Instagram. We'll do some Beavis and Butt-Head impressions as we react to some Australians being Australian.
Hey! Why don't we call England ahead and make sure they have enough beer for us over there? It's important.
Hello, all of us six.
Yeah, hey mate. I'm just calling up because me and a couple of guys are rolling into town this week. And we like to drink. We're just wondering, doing standard due diligence, calling out the pubs, finding out what sort of they got on tap.
Right, okay. So our stuff changes like most days.
How many taps are we working with there?
What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Ooh, just short of 20. So I bring in my colleague here, Harry.
Harry Fitzgerald here, professional beer drinker. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm actually good friends with the Schooner Scorer.
With who?
The Schooner Scorer.
Okay.
Have you seen his work?
So what is it you're after, mate?
Yeah, sorry, David. Harry here again. We just wanted to make sure there was enough beer, basically, because we're going to come in hot, probably Friday, and I'll give you the heads up, we're thirsty.
And we're Australian. You probably don't get many out there.
We get loads, mate.
Oh, well, from Perth?
So, like, how many are you looking for? Because on a Friday, like, there's not a lot of room anyway.
It was 3 of us.
There's 3 of you. We got about 25 active.
Active? What about inactive? Because you might need to boot them up.
Got another 20.
I think David was pretty tolerant, right, on the phone. I would have hung up straight away.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what time they called, he could have been a very busy man. Sounded like there was stuff going on in the background there. Yeah, so fair play to that man at the Earl of Essex. Great pub. Oh, I haven't been in a
Great
long
pub.
time, but if all
Me
19
neither.
taps are still going, there's going to be good
Yeah.
stuff happening there. They used to have a little brew house in there as well, but I don't think that still exists. A couple of things to point out. Firstly, love that David had no idea who the Schooner Scorer is, because I wish
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
know who the Schooner Scorer was. So I appreciated that. I also, I don't really understand. Is it a cliche that Australians drink more?
I think so. The whole video. If we haven't got time to watch the whole video, Johnny, because
Nobody's
it's
got
long.
time.
But the whole premise of it is they're Australian. They're like wide-eyed Australians. That's what they're projecting on the phone, as if they are like explorers that are visiting a new land that no Australian has ever visited before. So they ring up loads of pubs in Clapham as well, and are like, "We're a bunch of Aussies, mate. We're coming to Clapham. You've never seen the like of us.
But it's
Lock
Clapham.
up your daughters." But it's Clapham, so everyone's Australian essentially in Clapham. They bring up some genuinely good pubs at the beginning of it. The next one, what was that? I can't remember what that one was, but it had, I think, 20 taps on, 18 taps dormant. So these are like, they rang some serious craft beer, proper places. So they weren't ringing spoons or whatever. They did their.
Well,
their
if you
research.
counted the taps at Spoons, you get to a pretty high number, I'd imagine. It's just most of it's Madry and Punk IPA.
And wine out of a tap.
And wine out of a tap. Whenever I watch that kind of stuff, I hate it.
Yeah.
But part of it's jealousy. They found a format and it's funny
exactly.
and people are engaging with
pretty
it.
funny.
And you're like, why can't we do that? I mean, there's many reasons we can't do that.
It's
I'm
very
far too
laddie.
in my head to try that. Well, yeah, it's that
very
too.
laddie. I think it's done in. It's not really like poking too much fun at anyone else. It's just like themselves, I guess, and the stereotype of your Aussie bloke. But I did barrage you with a load of Aussie bloke beer humour
You really
this
did.
week.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I think once I watched one of them, the algorithm just served me loads of it. And it did make me slightly think, Johnny, are Australians the only people that are like really propping up the drinking economy in the UK now? Because there's an unreal amount of social media content of Aussies in the UK drinking, getting on it with the mates. Which, there's not so much of that of UK. Well, there probably is, but we're kind of too disgusted by it to sully ourselves in the waters.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe, that bit of content was done with a bit of self-awareness, right? That was where the comedy was coming from.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of that in lad culture in the UK,
Yeah.
And I also think that we have got very sensitive to lad culture in the UK because of how wrong it went in the late 90s. And maybe in Australia it didn't quite have that. And then I also think just the UK as a nation gets very hand-wringy when we talk about alcohol. And we talk about this on the podcast a lot, but I don't think we should be getting as hand-wringy as we are. And I think we need to change the conversation away from the idea that alcoholics are all drinking too much beer. Because, yeah, they probably are, but that's not the main issue at play there. That's not the main source of alcohol for most of the people that struggle with addiction. So I think there's lots of reasons why we don't see that drinking culture in the UK, and why it's also, maybe that's another of the million things that have fed into the Guinness obsession. Like we feel like if we're going to talk about alcohol, we have to try and talk about it in an interesting cultural artisanal way, but most people don't care about artisanal beer, so they feel like they can talk about Guinness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess anyone can talk about Guinness, can't they? Because it's sort of easy to get your head around, and reliable. It's a safety pint, as we said last week as well. It's a reliable medium of imbibation. That's not a word. But yeah,
I think it should be.
It's a stalwart, isn't it? It's like I say, I went to an Irish pub. I drank Guinness and ate pork pie with a friend, and I had a great night.
I think maybe next week I want to put. So I sent it to you, and you did not react in the slightest. I think because I gave you the Utopian news straight after, but there was a great interview. Actually, it's not a very good interview, but he's a very good interviewee. with Rory Sutherland.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, it passed me by. Sorry.
Yeah. So Rory
Save it
Sutherland
for
was
next
he?
week.
Which
He's an ad man.
advertising
He's an ad
agency
man.
did he run?
Probably Ogilvy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was Ogilvy. Yeah, an amazingly intelligent guy, and he's gone viral endlessly. He's like the surprise hit of TikTok, essentially. But he does a great little bit on Guinness in an interview he did that. I just sent to you and was like, Rory gets it. I don't think they've ever worked for Guinness, but I would imagine he's pretty close to the people that have worked on Guinness campaigns. So maybe I'll try and dig out a little portion of that next week and we can play it, because it's
love to.
I mean, people know my feelings on Guinness. It's like, it's fine. But the branding and the story of it just fascinates me endlessly, because I just much like Australian lad drinking culture, I can't understand how it's gotten so big.
Well, I was, it made me think, provincial nature of like when you move out of big cities and stuff, like you go out into the countryside a bit. I can remember growing up in London, and then you'd go out and you'd see kids walking about, and they were wearing. I was never into like fashion. Like, I like style. I've got style, but I could see what people were wearing as fashion. And when you went out in London, it was like 2 years behind, so people won't be wearing a certain tracksuit that no one was still wearing in London if they cared about that sort of thing. And I wonder whether the certain demographic of Aussie lads are living the 90s dream lad culture. Somehow they're in like a time warp bubble.
It's getting dangerously close to Australia's behind us culturally.
It's like 3 decades old somehow, but they're living the best. It looks fun, Johnny. It looks pretty fun.
I mean, I'm not going to
lie.
I think it might be part of how these cultures go in cycles, and so it's come back, but it's come back with a level of self-awareness that just wasn't there in the 90s. It's probably probably what's happening there. Right, let's. Actually, before we go on, just one more. It's not really news. But just to say, because some people did ask, the article I wrote for the Financial Times on the decline and hopefully rebirth of British hops is or was out on in the Financial Times magazine last weekend. Yeah. So nice. For those on the video podcast, they did a nice little illustration of a hop trapped in a pint glass.
What is it trapped in? Oh, it's a pint glass upside down, like you might trap a spider.
Or a wasp, yeah.
Or a wasp,
So, you can't buy it now. I did a little tweet about it when it happened, but you can read it online, so I'll put a link there. They did a really lovely job with it. Like, I don't love a lot of national newspapers, and I've never read the Financial Times. When I bought this in my local co-op, the guy was like, I don't think I've ever sold a Financial Times before. And I was like, I don't think I've ever bought one. But the process that my article had to go through, the fact checks, there was some, like, the fact checker emailed me with, it was like 12 questions saying you need to source all of these claims, which I very much doubt is happening on the Daily Mail. In fact, I'd probably say the opposite is happening. They're like, that's nowhere near dramatic enough. We need to skew this further.
Mental.
So, my trust in the Financial Times has gone through the absolute roof.
There you go.
Although they are getting people like me to write for them, so.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, exactly. Shall we talk about this week's video?
Yeah, great one. Great stuff.
So this one was... I mean, I really wish I could have stayed significantly longer at iGear. It was my first day out in Cape Town, so I was a bit disorientated. I was only there for about 4 or 5 hours, which was a real shame. It was, as you could see, pissing down with rain. So even when they opened at sort of lunchtime, there weren't many people coming through. And it was a Tuesday, I think. Was it Tuesday? I think so. So I feel like I didn't get to see iGear in full flow.
Full gear. In full gear,
and lots of the comments on Instagram and on YouTube were sort of saying, I've never seen iGear empty like this. Like, I think it is something like a phenomenally successful place that is just buzzing all week.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see that. And every day in Cape Town, I was like, in my day, I was planning, I've got 2 or 3 hours where I could go back to iGear and capture it as it needs to be seen. And it just never happened. So if we do get to go back, that will be on my list to pick a sunny day and go experience Eiger as it should be, because I think it'd be even more special. It had this lovely... The thing it reminded me of, that part of Cape Town, was a bit like the Florida Keys. There's an amazing, amazing TV show called Bloodline, which is sort of based in it's like a family owns a sort of hotel-y kind of like beach huts thing, and murder and intrigue happens. But it kind of reminded me of that. Like, you felt like you were in a tropical paradise removed from anywhere.
Yeah, there was a B-roll shot
special.
of it looked like a mangrove tree or something. I don't know if it was a mangrove tree, but it looked like a very gnarly tree.
Yeah,
It
we were
looked
probably too far
tropical.
from the...
It
from
wasn't
sea
in
to
the
have
water, was it?
mangroves,
So
that kind
something
of vibe.
very kind of like sinewy and
Yeah.
it's cool.
And in the rain, it had a real tropical feel. Like, it felt monsoon. It was kind of monsoon almost-esque. So it was a wild sort of time to be there. And we had to time our filming carefully, because sometimes the rain was so heavy that it would have ruined the audio. But the beers were just phenomenal. Like, in particular, that Ode to Harvest is a really special thing. Like, having the ability to, press fresh grapes, just blend it with wort and ferment to make a proper co-ferment, not even just on the must or anything. There's not many breweries, even breweries in the wine country, that would have access to that kind of thing like Rory has. So it's a truly unique thing, and I wish I could have stayed there and tried some other vintages as well. And the hazies were great, like top tier hazies, but I found everything else interesting, even the kettle sour with lactose, which I never find interesting. Really enjoyed that, and it was balanced, it was beautiful, and it had the structure that I always talk about. Just really well considered beer. And that's what I had at pretty much all of the breweries when I was down there. I think there's a lot of... It's this weird... feels like quite a mature... All the brewers feel mature. All the brewers feel like they've been doing their thing for decades and have really dialed it in and nailed it. But the scene itself looks like it's only 3 or 4 years old because of the prohibition that happened, which we'll talk about in the next episode when I'm at Woodstock. So it was illegal to sell alcohol for, I think, about 18 months almost. And the fact that it is quite a young scene, like 2008, I think, was Jack Black, which was the first sort of success story, and Devil's Peak has sort of come and gone already, almost. So yeah, it's an odd feel of a scene. Like, you go in there thinking it's going to be really, really young, but there's a lot of philosophy, a lot of maturity in the people making it. I thought Rory was brilliant. He was so nervous going on camera.
Oh, really?
I can't accentuate that enough. Like, he was super nervous about it and did not want to be doing it. And there's sort of B-roll of him being like, I don't know what I'm doing. But he was great once we got flowing. And I really enjoyed that interview.
Yeah, it was, like you say, it was a very deep conversation, very philosophical. It was great. A little bit hippie as well with some of the concepts. And then, the feeling of being able to taste the passion and the love that's gone into making something.
Part of me wishes you were there for that conversation, and another part of me is glad you weren't, because I feel like we'd have never moved on.
That.
Had you been there for that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know about the was it the two double slit experiment and particles reacting differently when observed and non-observed? Of course you did.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Strangely, my friend Andrew, I was talking to him this week about that as well. He just started talking to that, talking about double split thing. I think before you uploaded. So I was like, oh, this is weird coincidence. Twice in the same week talking about the same concept.
I'd love if there's any scientists out there that can, because I presume, I'm almost certain that this observance is not, it's not that when you look at it, it's going to act different. It's going to be that when you look at it, either you perceive it differently or you have affected that particle in some way by looking at it, being near it, touching it, something. So if there's any scientists in there that can explain what Rory was alluding to, then I would love to hear that in the comments, and we'll read it out next week, because I'm sure everybody's dying to know about why some particles react differently when observed and not observed.
I think it's maybe because we sort of generate our own sort of universe as we kind of make it and move around.
Yeah,
because we're obviously in a hologram here, Johnny. We're in the Matrix.
that's your working theory, is it? Wait, Matrix or hologram?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, well, there's a lot of things that say we're basically being projected from somewhere else, and this is like a hologram kind of thing. And then there's other things that say that consciousness is a big thing that's sort of shared among us all, and we kind of manifest our own things going forward. I'm not sure about any of this stuff, by the way. I'm just spitting some of it.
you're just throwing it out there, see what comes back. No, I've read quite a lot of philosophy stuff around this, and I'm no closer to even knowing where to look for answers, let alone what the answers are. But they're great fun, and I've been watching a lot of. I can't remember his name. His name's Peter something. He does the great Batman impressions on Instagram. He does a lot of stuff around this because I think he's semi-religious but doesn't quite understand exactly what form his religion takes. So a lot of his comedy, he did this really famous bit where he sort of talks about how life doesn't make sense. And I mean, I've done that absolutely no service to it. It's a brilliant bit of comedy in which he talks about how hard it is to kind of talk about these things. I think comedy's a great way to frame these deeper conversations, which I'm going to move on from. Because we know nothing about them. What was really nice, so obviously there were lots of great comments on YouTube, but what was really nice was to see a huge reaction on Instagram. So clearly, I mean, so we made it a collaboration post with iGear, so it went onto theirs as well. But just the love that I saw come back for iGear was remarkable and not something I've seen for a lot of brands. So clearly it's close to a lot of people's heart, this brewery. Just endless people saying, great beer, great place. Love the Impy Stout I had from there many years ago. I don't drink much, but it's the vibe you bring to your place. Well-deserved Rory. Amazing place. Only the best iGear project. Like, just endless people who love this place. Somebody says, was not expecting the double slit experiment to come up talking about beer, but now it makes total sense. I'm glad it makes sense for you. So yeah, I mean, this is a place that has both local and international acclaim, and I think it is that mix of that vibe and that beer and that location just makes something unique that's pretty hard to put your finger on and maybe reacts differently when you're there. So yeah, that was iGear Project. If you haven't seen it, do go watch it. And then next week, slightly different video. So we're going to get the story of Woodstock Brewing and the story of the Prohibition. So we'll learn a little bit more about that and what breweries did to survive. There's so many stories he couldn't tell because he'd get into trouble telling them, but all kinds of things about how breweries survived and also how inevitably, as just like happened in America during Prohibition, all it really did was cause a massive spike in organized crime. So suddenly, Woodstock were being blackmailed, proper like protection rackets and things like that.
Wow.
Like an absolutely mad decision from a government that I don't think paid off in the slightest.
Crazy.
And yeah, so we dig into a little bit of that stuff. But the main thrust of it is us brewing a Baltic Porter barrel-aged in red wine in Syrah barrels, and then me hosting a dinner for 150 people, which only really features at the end, because obviously I was hosting rather than filming, but it's quite a different video to all of the others, and I still don't quite know how it's going to come together, because it hasn't yet. It's still sort of like holding spaghetti in your hands.
Woof.
But we'll find it. We'll get there. And yeah, so that'll go live next Wednesday. And obviously we'll have the podcast next week as well. But before then, we have a live show which starts.
We've got a live show,
Starts in 8 hours, Bradley.
Well, technically, if you're listening to this at 5 p.m., you've got an hour downtime between this.
Yeah.
And then, to get some beers, maybe go and eat a little bit of food. And then come back to us again because we're
going to be
back.
starting. Yeah. So for those who aren't aware, anybody on YouTube or in the podcast realm, tonight at 8 p.m. we are going live with Reese from Don Zoco And we'll be tasting through 6 utterly delicious beers, pouring them into one very delicious gold-rimmed glass. And we've sold about 75 taste-along packs, 76 taste-along packs, I think. So very excited to meet all of you and hear your views on the beers as we go through them. But it'll be great fun. Just, grab some delicious lagers if you can't get hold of the Don Soko beers and join us, because it should be really good fun. And Reese is a great character and a great brewer. So it should be a really, really good live show. So yeah, that's all from us for the next couple of hours, but hopefully we'll see lots of you tonight, 8 p.m. on the channel. Love and beer.
Love and beer.
The Bubble and Friday 5 p.m. podcasts are brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's craft beer channel. You can watch over 400 mini documentaries at youtube.com/the craft beer channel. And if you love what we do, support us via Patreon and get access to merchandise and our amazing Discord forum, a positive and welcoming space for everyone who loves beer, food, and homebrewing. Love and beer.